So one of the main reasons why I actually quit streaming is because I felt like I wasn't making that much outside of streaming and everything like that. And you hear a lot about these stories about people making so much money from the streaming world and the content creation world, and that was sadly not gifted to me. So I'm gonna make it my own doing, and I'm gonna put myself forward to document how I'm doing financially in my own life. I have been talking about this series for a while, and I kind of want to do it as a monthly series where I basically decide to talk about my financial stuff literally for every single month. And I think this would be a good learning thing for people that, maybe wanting to go into the content creation world or going into any field, they feel like they can't make that much money, or they feel like they can't live off a certain amount of money. And I want to show you guys my experience in terms of my financial situation. But before I literally go into that, I just want to let you guys know that I am not a financial expert. I have to legally say that. If you watch any financial video, you know that like most of these people that talk about it are not financial experts. My financial experience may be different than you guys. Some of you guys may have like family. Some of you guys may be like living in an apartment. I would say if you want to take any advice from this video, kind of be someone kind of like me. You don't really need to spend that much. You don't really have like massive bills or anything. So I would say roughly around a teenager or maybe a young adult that's about to go to college. Even though I am 27 years of age, I am very fortunate enough to have my family let me stay in the house and everything. And I know most parents want to kick their kids out and everything. So if you have that opportunity to stay with your family, go ahead and use that to your advantage because you could save a ton of money. So for the month of August, I actually spent quite a bit of money. As you can see in this chart right over here, this is basically the week. This is that I usually like kind of calculate how much money I've made, how much I've lost, and what's basically the middle ground from there. In terms of like my income, I'm actually negative for the month, negative 174.32. And that's usually because, well, I traveled. I literally went from Houston to Austin. I literally attended 2 events. And even though like I still am making money at some of these conventions, I'm not making the bulk of that money. And I actually strategize that for that reason. When you're starting like a business and stuff like that, you kind of want to put the majority of the money into the business and less for the actual people who created it. And I am simply someone who is helping the person. So like whenever Isaac and I go to like an event, we don't put that money towards ourselves. We put that back into the business. We are trying to figure out ways to get accepted to more events. So I literally said that like we don't get paid at all. So I don't know how much Isaac actually pays himself. So I do get paid for these events. I do genuinely did get paid. I cannot believe I even said I didn't get paid at all. But I will say the money that I make from these events is usually under roughly 10% of the money, or even lower, as low as like 5. So an average around 5 to 8% of the money pays me, since Isaac appreciates what I do. That's what I wanted to clear up before I talk a little bit more. Now, normally I actually would have like a sheet to where I kind of like put my money in with the budget and everything like that. But because the majority of my time was actually in Austin, I didn't get a chance to create one. So I actually just decided to show off like basically this spreadsheet that I have over here, which kind of documents my net worth. But for the month of August, I actually made roughly around $714.81. And my usual goal for every single month is actually $1,600, which if you do the math correctly, I am expected to make $400 a week. That is actually what I live off of, which is actually the general average. I mean, when I used to work at the grocery store, I was making $11 an hour, and I was making roughly around $350 to $360 every week. So it's not like I'm truly living in poverty, but I'm also not making enough money to hopefully one day move into an apartment. Now, one thing that I did start this year was actually investing. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about investing. I've been hearing that's the best way to grow wealth, and that's also like a perfect time for me as someone who's in their late 20s to start probably contributing stuff to retirement. I actually put no money into the stock market this month because I decided to put that money into other things. And I actually did make like some profit. So I made over $73.26 in my investment. If you take a look at the graph over here, I basically made quite a bit of money in here. So you can see in the first half of the month, which is actually when I was in Sacramento as well as in Austin, that I actually made $122. And then the market decided to like shit itself, and I actually lost $49 those 2 weeks. But I also necessarily did not go empty-handed, because this month I actually got a lot dividend payments over here. I was actually on a streak of payments until I actually got to miss out on 1 week with no dividends, which is what I haven't had since March of this year. And in 3 weeks, I actually got paid $27.38 in dividends, which for you guys, if you do not know what a dividend is basically free cash flow money from companies that are making basically excess amounts of money. Since you are an investor in that company, you are pretty much like guaranteed to make a little bit of their profits. But it's only at such a dividend yield, so you get paid a certain amount. Like for example, I've invested in a company called Sunoco, which is basically oil, gas. If you know the gas station, then you're fully familiar what that is. Sunoco literally pays 91 cents per share, which some people might think it's very small, but if you are a believer in this company or you just put a lot of money into the company, that will basically grow exponentially. Because I have about like 4 shares into that company, I actually made around $3.25. And if you guys want me to like explain a little bit further into some of the charts, because I actually made a lot of these charts by hand, please be sure to comment down below and I might do a video if you guys are actually interested in my finances and stuff like that. So overall, I haven't really made that much money and everything like that, and I'm hoping to get back on schedule. I'm hoping that September will actually get me pretty further up there and everything, and I've decided to change how I basically put my money into like, you know, certain bank accounts. So I have multiple different accounts because they have like different use cases. Like one is for food, one is for bills, one is for like, you know, BS money. And you know, people talk about the 50, 30, 20 and everything like that. But I decided, you know what, that's really slow for me. I need money now. Like I can't really do anything despite the fact that I'm literally in my 20s. So because I make $400 a week, I decided, you know what, let's just take 75% of my money and live off of that money, and then we'll put 25% into things that I might need in the later on future. Like for example, if I continue on with Battleship Comics, I will literally need to pay for flights. I would like to pay for Ubers. I would like to pay for DoorDash, you know, if I'm like traveling abroad. And because most of my bills are monthly subscriptions like Netflix, Verizon, Hulu, Disney Plus, and things of that nature, I can literally just buy credits with that money. So for that 25%, I want to load up on credits, and I am going to just literally have that pay off everything, so that way my monthly expenses basically decrease. For example, I'm actually going to put $300 into my main account, and I'm going to use the $100 to literally put money towards my phone bill. My phone bill is literally $50 a month, and then the taxes that are associated with it, I just put that money in there, and I decided to pay for 2 months. So now I don't have to pay my phone bill until literally November of this year. And then Netflix, I literally pay for literally like the cheapest plan, like I think like $7 for like ad supported and everything like that. If I just spend like $100, before you know it, like I could just spend $100 on like Netflix credits and literally would pay for the entirety. I mean, that would be like a good example. I might talk a little bit more about like my strategies and like where I put my money and like certain things and everything like that, but I think you kind of got the gist of like what had basically happened. I made like $700 last month, and I am basically with no money. But I'm hoping that September will actually kind of lead me into a better, more financial situation, because I'm now trying to strategize like where money should go and everything like that. And hopefully when next month actually comes around, I might be in a better situation than what I am for this month. So I am literally on grind mode for this month, and hopefully everything will fall into place. So if you do like this video, make sure to hit that like button, and also comment down below if you want to see more of these, not more of these, because I have other videos that I want to upload to the channel. Since this is a vlog channel and new things are about to come out, like for example, apparently we're getting new stuff at Taco Bell. I want to check out new food places because I just recently found out there's a place in my hometown that apparently is known for something. And then I might do a separate video for gig work for people that actually does like DoorDash or grocery delivery and stuff like that, on how I actually make my money and how I strategize using certain apps to make you a profitable person. So hope you guys enjoy. That's pretty much it. Until then, Cabal out.